What's up, disc golfers? Joe here with Joe's Disc Golf, and it is August. I've got my cart right next to me, so that can only mean one thing. That is an In the Bag episode. Yes, indeedy. Yes, sirree, Bob. Now, yeah, August, best time of the year to do a In the Bag. Now, I want to start out. We're going to start out with some fun stuff here. We've got the Zuka LG backpack cart with the Dynamic Discs sniper bag in there. Fantastic stuff there. Before we get too far into that, I do want to point out some accessories that I could not live without. First off, if you direct your attention to the bottom here, you'll see two beautiful Walmart Tall, it's the brand, T-A-L, water bottles. They're fantastic. They're super cheap, so I don't care if they get beat up. In them, these are not the Zuka brand water bottle holders because those suck. I don't care. Zuka, if you're watching, do something better because they're pretty terrible. These are actually made for a mountain bike. I'll have a link in the description below to Amazon where I got them. They're like 20 bucks a piece, so a little expensive, but my water bottle's never fallen out. And look at this. It tightens, so that's not going anywhere. On top of that, I've got the Zuka accessory pouch here that has one of the most handy accessories here. That is my Bushnell range finder. You don't need it, but it's not a bad investment if you got a few extra bucks. I also have in this pocket, it's usually got my phone, but I'm recording on it, so there's no phone in there right now. Inside, I carry things like a backup battery bank because when you're on the go recording, that kills your phone battery. So this is something good to have. Plus now with doing UDisc Live or PDGA live scoring, your battery can get eaten up pretty quick, and it's never a bad thing to have a battery bank on the course. In here, I also have things like snacks that I don't have now and extra small towels to wipe my hand. Get some of that extra chalk off. Because when we're talking about chalk, we've got the Prodigy brand chalk bag here that came with chalk. I had to refill it. Now, I did not know exactly where to go to get the Prodigy chalk refiller, so I went on Amazon and I got the brand Unicorn Dust. Fine grade, I guess, unlike what Archer would use, which is coarse for throwing in Woodhouse's eyes. But I've got my chalk bag here, which is great. I love using chalk. I used to use dirt bags and grip bags and whale sacks and all that stuff, and I never could get a great grip on the disc. So if you're one of those people, if you want to try something new, I highly recommend using chalk. When that empties out, and I'm sure you can find a climber's bag for cheaper, Prodigy, I had some store credit, so I used that at my local shop. I also have a permanent marker on the side because you never know when that's going to come in handy. The other accessory that you can see plainly right here is the Power Pocket. I used to use the Zuka putter pouch thing. That thing sucked. It ripped. It was pretty terrible. Zuka, again, if you're watching, redesign it. The reason I love the Power Pocket so much, not only because it holds so many more discs than the Power Pocket, but it has this strap that you can see here that goes from this pouch up to the handle. And so I don't have to worry about it ripping the Velcro on the back. Like this part here, like the Velcro from the putter pouch, ended up ripping, and that was pretty bad. I didn't like it. It was pretty awful. We're going to start with one more thing that's in here, and that is my Mini. My beautiful, really cool Mini, or my backup Mini, because it never hurts to have a second Mini, because either mentally I'm like, I just need a change, or somebody else on the card might forget their Mini. So moving from here, we've got my putters. I putt with Classic Soft Judges. I've got two, just because, why not? I've got two. I've got two of everything, it seems. Now, these are fantastic because I love how straight I can throw these. I can put a little force on them, and they have a bead. Beaded putters are what I love to use. Doesn't matter what it is. I have my throwing judges, which are in the Lucid plastic. One time, I tried to throw my Classic Soft Judge. I smoked a tree, first available, and I needed to buy a new putter because it's Classic Soft plastic. I have my Backhand / headwind putter, which is a VIP harp, a little bit stable, but not too crazy. Ricky used to throw those a ton. Now he's kind of switched to the Saki Bomb Slammer, which I have not incorporated to my bag at this time. I also have a Paul Macbeth Z Zone. I love this thing on the forehand. I can really rip on this and not worry about it turning over. Fantastic approach disc. Again, if I'm throwing into headwind, I could do a backhand with this as well, but primarily I use this for forehand approach shots and shorter shots off the tee. Finally, it's a meme at this point, has been for a long time. I have a Berg. This is a fantastic one-speed disc. I love the way it feels. I like the way it feels in my hand more than, say, a Polecat, which has a similar flight characteristic of when it's done, it just dies. This is a great approach disc when I need it to just go straight to a certain amount and just fall out of the sky. I can throw this forehand, backhand. It's really a do-it-all kind of disc. Flipping my bag around here, we have a few more accessories that I neglected to talk about earlier. The first one being a lacrosse ball. You could use a baseball, you could use something else like that. Something that's a bit heavier, got a bit weight to it. So if you got a disc stuck up in a tree, you can just chuck it at it. Not a big problem. It'll come down, no problem. Tennis ball is not a good idea. It's a little too light. I also have the Golden Retriever, which is blue in my case, from Dynamic Discs. Great for retrieving your disc out of the water if you can see it. I also have the Dynamic Discs Reacher. I forget what this one's exactly called. Again, had some store credit, so I decided to use it. It's great. It extends out to like 20 feet, I believe. I'll have that down in the description below. But it's great because I can reach out there and grab it. I wish the hooks on this were a little bit better. I wish they had those gator clips on it, so I'm probably going to replace this with one of those gator clips so you can just kind of stab at it, it grabs it and pulls it. Otherwise, it's been kind of hit or miss whether or not this retriever can pull it out. It can kind of get it, but not too easily. Moving on to what's actually in the bag. Let's check this out here. I have my discs organized in terms of stability, less stable, more stable, mid-range, fairway driver, distance driver. So in each category, it gets more stable as you move from one side to the other here. So starting out, for my turnover shots or my tailwind shots, I have the Dynamic Discs Bounty. Pretty solid, understable disc. It's got a beaded rim, so if you're into beaded rims and you're looking for something understable, this is the disc for you. I don't pull it out all that often, but if I need something to go straight, land flat, this is the disc for that. Moving up, I've got two different E-Mac Truths. Now, this one is a bit lighter. It is 167 grams, and this one is 177 grams. Now, you might not think that 10 grams is all that different. However, this orange one and this yellow one have been in my bag for about the same amount of time, and the orange one is far less stable than the yellow one. I attribute that to the weight. I don't know. You let me know in the comments down below. So if I need something to go straight or maybe even fade a little bit to the right before coming back and flexing out, that is this shot right here. That is my orange E-Mac Truth. If I need it to go straight and finish left, but not too hard, that is my yellow E-Mac Truth. They're both fantastic discs. Great additions to your bag if you need something that flies pretty straight and has a good, consistent finish to the left on a backhand. Now we move on to my favorite mid-range of all time. That is the Justice. I have a regular Lucid Justice. This is my least stable Justice. Primarily, I throw the Justice on a forehand, but I can throw it on a backhand depending on how far left I want something to go. I can usually get my Justice out to about 250 feet to 300 feet, depends on which one I'm throwing. Closer to the 300 if I really give it a full pump. If I have to give it a full pump, I'm probably going to disc up to something like, say, the Felon. But if I have to, in a pinch, I know I can get the Justice out there. I also have one of the Lucid Ice Justices. This one is my most stable Justice. So again, for headwinds, or if I need this to go left, hardcore left on a backhand or hardcore right on a forehand, I know I can trust that. And sitting somewhere in the middle is my Kona Chameleon stamped Justice. Now, great disc again. These are all dynamic disc Justice. This one sits somewhere in the middle, depends on the kind of shot I need. Moving up to the Fairway Drivers. Now, I did not sort these in terms of speed, but in terms of stability. So I believe that the Vandal is an 8-speed. I'll put that in the description below. But this is my least stable fairway driver here. Great disc. I really like using it for long shots where I need a turnover backhand. Yes, you're saying, Joe, you're primarily a forehand player. Why the heck would you need a turnover backhand? There are a few holes that aren't maintained off the tee as well as they should be, basically eliminating the forehand shot. And I will take some personal responsibility. I'm part of the club that maintains that, and I should go out there and help clean that up. This is great because I can throw it on a backhand. I know it's going to turn over and come out of it and land flat. If I throw it high enough, it will fade out. If I need to throw something a decent amount of distance, but can't put a lot of power on it, maybe I'm throwing a standstill, maybe I just need it to come down and land flat, the Vandal is the disc for you. Now, this has been in my bag for quite a while. This is a 2019 Trilogy Challenge. Moving up in stability from that, we jump to the 9-speed Escape. Now, the Escape is a great disc. This is the one that if I'm going to throw a backhand, I'm probably going to do it. This will come with a great hyzer flip, easy distance, more stable, handles more power than you can put on the Vandal. However, I will not throw this one or the Vandal on a forehand because I will turn it over almost immediately, throwing it into a thrower, because 99.99% of the time, I'm not trying to throw a roller. A relatively new disc in dynamic discs is the Evader. I'm emphasizing the E in Evader. Great disc, even more stable. I do have the Lucid X version of this as a backup. In the top here is the Zach Melton Tennessee stamp one here. Far more stable. It's also a flat top. This one's got a bit of a dome to it. However, as I'm throwing these, it is more stable than the Escape. I can put even more power on it. Despite it being a 7-speed, it's got some pretty consistent glide. Now we move into my babies, the Felon. Even though you can't really read that, let's put up that new Sake Bomb Felon, the Orbit Plastic. Great disc. This is my understable Felon that I can get a nice turnover forehand. Same reasons why I'd throw a turnover backhand. For whatever reason, the backhand shot is cut off. Turnover forehand, I can get crazy distance on this. People look at it like, how do you do that? Well, you can see here, this has been in my bag forever and a day, so it will take a long time to come out of it. I can get such easy distance with the Sake Bomb Felon. It is such a good disc. It is so good. If you do not have a Felon in your bag and you're looking to get a Felon, the Sake Bomb Felon is great. It comes out like a slightly beat up Felon and just stays that way. It is so good. Such easy distance. It is the perfect disc that I go to more times than anything else. Moving up in stability from that, I have my Hand-Eye Supply Overstable Stamped Felon. Again, just a step up from that. Really good stuff there. Love this Felon. If I need more stability than what my Sake Bomb Felon offers, then I do that. And if we're in a crazy wind, I have my Eric Oakley Lucid X Chameleon Felon. This thing is beefcake. This is straight up beef right here. It is a fantastic disc. I throw it in the headwind, and I know no matter what angle I throw it on, it's going to come back. It does not matter one bit at all. So Felons, great disc. I also have several backups of the Felon. Moving up into our, it's kind of a weird position. It's an 11 speed here. This is the Grand Royal Grace, the Kristen Tatar KT stamp. It is such a good disc. This is a disc I did not know I'd love as much as I do. This disc, I have thrown the crap out of it recently, ever since it's been in my bag. I get such good distance on it. I step up to holes that are over 400 feet, and I'm most likely going to reach for my Grace because I know I can throw it on a forehand, on a flex line. It's going to come back, and it's going to go at least 400 feet, at least. I've thrown it max, I think, just over 500 feet. That was, with a caveat, a right to left tailwind downhill. So don't count it for PR. Don't count it at all. Never have, never will. But just to show you what kind of distance you can get out of the Grace if you have the arm speed, it is something you should look into. Stepping up from that, if I'm not throwing the Grace, I'm throwing the Sheriff. Understable-ish, but if you can get it at the right angle, the Sheriff does not want to fall out of the sky. So it's another great disc that I really love throwing, that I'll throw forehand or backhand. There's several holes where if I can get my angles just right, especially on the forehand, I can get it to turn over slightly, cruise to the left, and finish to the right. And it will just go for a long, long time. The next disc I have two versions of it. If I want to throw a big anti-flex line, and I have before, darn near got an ace at a tournament. If you were at that tournament, and I know a few of you were, it's the River City Open. Such a good time. 2 years ago. But the Raider is your disc for those big flex shots. I also have the less stable Gold Line Huck Lab version. That is another great, well, I guess this would be Dimax, not Gold Line, but still, same idea. Another great addition. Getting towards the end, a recent addition is the Latitude 64 Rive. This disc, far more stable than the Gladiator that it replaced, but not too stable, not too much more stable, where it does not find a place in my bag and in my heart. Again, I get some good distance with it. The way this disc has broken in, I can throw it nice and flat, and it will slowly rise up. And it's a great disc. I really enjoy it. Plus the Royal plastic and how they do the finishing, so good. If you haven't felt it, you need to go find it. It is so good. The last disc in my main pocket is my Page Shoe Team Series Lucid X Chameleon Sheriff. Another amazing disc here that, just like the Sheriff, you can get a lot of distance, but if there's a headwind that I need to worry about, I'm not worrying if I'm throwing my Lucid X Chameleon Sheriff. The Lucid X Chameleon plastic is fairly stable, and it is so good. And the Sheriff flies so nice. And once you beat them in just a little bit, they will hold the perfect line if you have the arm speed. I have to add that caveat. The next disc I want to show you is something that is special to my heart. It's a disc that I used to have in my bag, and that was there for a long time until finally it got too beat up and too straight. Still a great disc, still a disc that I had searched high and low for. I had to sign up for a Hand-Eye subscription box just to get a Chameleon Stiletto. Now, it didn't have to be Chameleon, but the Stiletto is a very overstable distance driver that I use as a utility disc to just get me out of whatever situation I need. If I need it to do whatever, it will. Throw these on big old forehand hyzer bombs. I'll throw these on crazy anti-backhand lines. I'll throw them to get out of jail. This is one of the most stable discs in my bag, and it used to hold the title of most stable disc in my bag until I was able to get my hands on a Meta Tilt. Simon Lizotte, pink. Oh, so pretty, so beautiful, so stable. If you don't know about the Tilt, you've been living under a rock. But the TLDR, insanely overstable on holes that are, I threw yesterday, as of time of recording, I threw this disc on a backhand flex line. I let it go at an angle like this. I needed it to go about 200 feet to make the corner, and it did, and then it died. Because by the time it got to that corner, it was already hyzering out. You can get a lot more distance if you throw it upside down, but again, the Tilt, if you've got the arm or the need, or you just want a disc that will put a smile on your face every time you throw it, the Tilt is the one for you. So there you go. Obviously, I didn't mention the towels because, towels, always have plenty of towels, especially if it's a rainy round. But that's it. That's my in the bag. So thank you all for watching. As always, if you get a great tree kick, thank Treesus. And if you get kicked deeper into the woods, well, you need to repent and reflect because you have transgressed against Treesus. Thank you all for watching. You've been awesome. I've been Joe, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video.